Hi, thanks for tuning back in to the second part of deserts. We left off on page 14. We were going to start learning about some desert animals. We asked a lot of questions the last time we read the first half of this book, and some of you may have written your questions down. If you did, or if you would like to write down some of your questions, since there are going to be a lot of questions that we're going to hopefully have when reading this, grab a piece of paper and a pencil or your Making Meaning book. You can write it on the journal pages in the back. All right, here we go. Chapter 3 is desert animals. Desert animals. Mice and tortoises are just a couple of the animals that have learned to survive in the desert. Desert bugs are fierce fighters. They have to be tough to live in the dry land. Scorpions jab their prey with poisonous stingers. The stink bug shoots enemies with a smelly spray. The desert tarantula has stinging hairs on its abdomen, his stomach. If a bird or a snake get too close, the tarantula flicks hairs into the animal's eyes and blinds it. Other desert insects are gentler. Butterflies, sorry, I lost my spot. Butterflies flit between flowers. They drink the blossom's nectar. Colorful butterflies stand out in the brown desert. Okay, so this is a tarantula. A tarantula hunts small insects in the hot desert. All right, so what questions do you have right now about desert animals? Maybe this tarantula, maybe about colorful butterflies. Tell someone your questions or write them down. Scaly, spiky, and bumpy reptiles thrive in the desert. They have watertight skin. Their skin doesn't sweat, so they don't lose water. Scritch, scritch, the claws of a lizard scrape against the sand. The nervous lizard scrambles toward a bush. A nearby snake slithers to a stop. The snake senses the lizard. With a snap of its powerful jaws, the snake grabs the lizard and swallows it whole. Here's a caption for this picture. It says, a side-winding adder snake swallows a lizard in Africa's Namib Desert. That's crazy if you can see that. I hope you can. Okay, over here. It says another hunter crawls along the desert floor. A Gila monster searches for a meal. The red and black lizard finds a kangaroo rat hiding beneath a bush. With quick gulps, the Gila monster gobbles up its prey. This is a kangaroo rat. And this picture for this caption for this picture says, when a Gila monster bites its prey, deadly venom from its jaws flows into the animal. Oh boy, definitely wouldn't want to mess with that. Okay, what questions come to mind at this point in the reading? Go ahead and write down more questions or tell someone. What questions do you have? Okay. This is desert animals hunt at night. It says during the hot day, many animals hide in cool burrows or under shady rocks. But when the sun goes down, desert animals come out. High above in the dark sky, a brown bat flies overhead. In the shadows, a lean coyote sniffs the air. It catches the scent of a mouse. Here's a little addition. It says a field note, scorpions are night hunters. Their size are 2 to 3 inches. Their color is yellow and brown. And for food, they like insects, spiders, or other scorpions even. Here's a caption for this picture up here. Coyotes hunt at night in the desert when it is cooler. Okay, you're probably forming more questions. We're going to read one more page before we pause and think them or write them down, or tell them rather and write them down. From a small hole in a giant saguaro cactus, an elf owl's round eyes scan the ground below. A speckled grasshopper leaps from a bush. In a swift dive, the tiny owl snatches the grasshopper and silently flaps back to its nest. As the sun rises, night animals go back to their nests and burrows. During the night, few animals found water, but they aren't thirsty. To live in the dry land, desert animals need very little water. This says, an elf owl peeks out from its nest in a saguaro cactus. Okay, what questions do you have right now? Tell somebody or write them down. You may need to pause me. All right, we're going to go to, I think this is the last chapter that we're going to read. Chapter 4, People and the Desert. A man wearing a blue turban guides his camel across the sandy floor of Africa's Sahara Desert. The man belongs to a group of people called the Tuareg, the blue people of the desert. The dark dye of their turbans rubs off onto their skin. For thousands of years, the Tuaregs were nomads, moving from place to place. The Tuaregs were also traders. Their caravans of camels took goods like spices and grains across the Sahara Desert. In recent times, many Tuaregs have settled along the edges of the Sahara. Droughts made it hard to find food for their camels. Wars made it dangerous to live in some places of the desert. These are wheat grains up close. It says Tuaregs use camels to carry goods long distances across the desert. All right. What questions do you have? Go ahead and tell somebody, write them down. You may need to pause me. Our people affect the desert. This is a quick picture of a desert grasshopper. All right, people in the desert must be careful to protect the plants and animals living there. People might not realize the effect they have on the desert. By destroying desert plants, people harm desert animals. Animals that eat the plants no longer have food or shelter. If people kill desert animals like tarantulas or other spiders, larger animals that eat the spiders have to find other food to eat. This caption says, people who hike in deserts should stay on trails so that they don't disrupt plants and animals. That's very important. Even through rocky, dry deserts, even though a rocky, dry desert looks tough, it is a delicate place. Hikers should stay on trails in the desert. When people wander off trails, they might accidentally crush a cactus. Hikers who aren't careful might trample over the burrows of mice or lizards, causing the animals' underground homes to collapse. All right, here's a fact. It says aliens have come to deserts in the United States. Alien plants, that is. The tumbleweed and salt cedar are not native to American deserts. Both plants were accidentally brought from Asia and Europe in the 1800s and early 1900s. Okay, what questions do you have from this section? Go ahead and let somebody know those questions or write them down. Go ahead and pause me. Protecting the desert. Some people don't come to deserts just to hike. They want to live there. In the United States, desert cities are growing fast. Each year, thousands of people move to desert states like Arizona and Nevada. Malls, roads, houses, and stores are built and crowd out desert animals and plants. This picture, the caption says, Las Vegas, Nevada sprawls across thousands of acres of desert land. Okay. This says Death Valley National Park, says homeland of the Timbisha Shoshone, says the U.S. government protects desert areas by setting up national parks. To make sure deserts don't disappear, countries and states make laws to set aside land. In these protected areas, people aren't allowed to build roads or homes. It's against the law to harm any of the plants and animals that live there. Okay, so let's just pause to ask ourselves any last questions that we have, especially anything that came up in this section. And then the last thing is, what did you learn about the effects that people are having on deserts? It is really unfortunate, but yeah, unfortunately, we do affect deserts when we visit them and we get off the trail. So hopefully you said something about, if you do visit a desert, since they are pretty cool, to just make sure you stay on the path. That's one important thing. Okay, readers, it is your turn. It's your turn to go read. Preferably something nonfiction, since that's the unit that we're in, but honestly, anything that you're reading is fantastic. Just enjoy it and love it. Find a comfy spot, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you get all the new videos. Happy reading!